Okay, so first video of the week here. It's Saturday morning. Should I say afternoon? On my second batch of the skim coat for the trunk lid, and that's my first layer. So the way I'm going to do is I'm going to do this side, then do this side, and then do the center. So that's where I'm at with it, putting a skim coat on the trunk lid so I can get it flat blocked and see if I need more after that. So far this stuff seems like well, I mean it laid out pretty smooth, and kind of still looks like it's still wet, and it's been a while. I don't know, probably 10-15 minutes anyways. They say you can get up to 40 minutes of work time with this stuff. I don't know. All I know is I'm just mixing it half and half on the Ultra and Ultra Extra on the Rage. Half and half on them. And then with this, it's probably like 8 inches or something like that. I'll put one line across and a half a line of the hardener. And that's how I did that one, and it seemed to lay out pretty good. So I'm getting ready to do that side. Get back with you. Alright. So that's that. That's the skim coat. I did this side, and then the center. This side here is still a little bit tacky, but it's getting there. And this one, yeah, it's starting to harden too. So it gives you a little bit of extra work time. 45 minutes? I don't think so. Maybe if I put less hardener in it, it would. But it was enough time, you know, to skim this, come back, skim this, and then skim that. By the time I made it back to the center one, this was dry enough to not be digging into it or whatever. So it worked out. I like it. Other thing is sanding. How easy does this stuff sand? We'll see. So skim coated the trunk. Haven't sanded that yet, so I don't know what it's going to look like. Have a feeling it might need a skim coat, but we'll see. Had a feeling that door over there was going to need a skim coat too, and it didn't. So just by looking at the primer, I can't tell. So, alright, that's where I'm at with it. Oh, by the way, I bought this tray from Lowe's a long time ago when I was remodeling the house to do sheetrock, and you know, you have to smear a lot of filler whenever you're doing sheetrock. So this came in handy, and then at the same time I bought that, I bought several sizes of the hold on, brain fart. Trials, no, that ain't it. Oh man, And don't you hate that when you get older and you start losing stuff out of your memory banks and stuff? And it's not a scraper. Well, I guess it could be a scraper. But anyways, I had bought in several sizes of that, so I had the medium, a little bit bigger, and then this bigger one, and it came in handy on that trunk lid to smear that out. Kind of pressed it all in with this, and once I got it all pressed in, and went on this with 2 hands and was able to get a nice smooth transition. So that's where I'm at with it. So I'm gonna get my notepad out here and figure out exactly how many of each bolt I'm gonna need for the front of this, so that I can get this installed, get the intake installed, start cleaning up my brackets and all that stuff, and get the front end of the motor put together and the intake installed on the motor. So, alright, be back. Alright, so round 1 of the skim coat on the trunk lid. Pile of, put it on, sand it off, put it on, sand it off. So that was the first round. I don't know if you can see my lows, corner, a little bit here, and then some lows over on that side. So that's where I'm at. Get ready to pencil them out and start spreading some filler, and just in the low spots, of course. But it's getting there. Night, night. So I got a little bit of a mess going on out here. I did go down to the hardware store and picked up the hardware to bolt all my air conditioner brackets on. I got new bolts for the valve covers, new bolts for the water pump, and so forth and so on. But yeah, I got that first round of sanding done on the deck lid, and these were all my lows, which really wasn't real bad lows, you know. I'm not saying that they was so it's just like a little bit of pitting in here, a couple really light lows up in here. This corner was low, this little area was low, but you can see my pencil mark. I mean, it's not on there super thick. So I'll come back and lightly sand off all the edges, and usually by the time you get the edge sanded off, you're pretty much where you need to be on the low. So that's where I'm at. I get this on, and then I don't know, I would probably say do a guide coat and then lightly sand the guide coat off with 120, just to see if there's any more lows on there. But I don't know. I'm no expert, but it's gonna be flat, in my opinion. That's what I ended up with. get back with you. Alright, so it's Friday, and you can see that my garage looks exactly the way it did from the last video. I didn't practice what I preached, and I come out here, made a big ass mess, didn't clean it up, and then I didn't come back out all week because one, I didn't want to come clean up the mess, and two, it's been cold here in Kansas City. We've been single digits, 20s, had a snowstorm come through. So with that said, I have just not been wanting to come to the garage. I've been putting it off. Plus, I needed a break from it. So I've had my break. Got the old turbo heater fired up, warming it up in here, because I need to get back up on this deck lid. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I made a paint supply store run, and I got 1 gallon of the Super Build Optics with the catalyst, and got a little bit more of the high build epoxy primer, because I have to have that to put back on the ball headed spots when I get to them. So I'll have to dust those areas in a little bit. I got 1 more gallon of this coming, because where I'm reading is it takes 2 to 3 gallons for a large car to get enough to do 2 or 3 coats on the car. And I've also been reading how when you're doing the polyester, because it's so thick, that I think you're better just to do 1 panel at a time. Like do your fender, get 2 or 3 coats on it, move to the door and do 2 or 3 coats, and so forth and so on. So anyways, I'm gonna get back after it here this week, Friday, and I won't be putting a video out this week because I only got like 4 short little videos. So I will put one out next Friday. But like I said, it's a matter of cleaning up my mess and getting started back on this. I was kind of disappointed because I didn't make my beginning of December goal, so I started kicking myself for it, and I shouldn't be, because I've come a long way in a year working on this all by myself. So anyways, get started back on this, get back with you. Alright, so this is where I'm at with it. Making my share of mistakes. So after sanding this, or excuse me, the epoxy primer, and then you saw I put a skim coat on it, and then I sanded it all down, and I had some lows and a couple highs, and I circled all my lows, and then I mixed some more of the filler and smeared it on the lows, and then went back and sanded all them areas down, and then I re-primered the whole trunk lid here. But what I found, I might be wrong, but after doing the skim coat, having the couple highs that were over in that area, I feel that if I would have guide coated this and then found the highs before smearing my filler, then I could have tapped those highs down and then skim coated it, and then I think that would have worked out better. That's my opinion. I mean, I see how people are doing this, putting the skim coat on, sanding it down, and then taking care of highs after that. I don't know, but the way that I did the trunk was the way everybody else is doing it, and I ended up with a couple high spots over there that I had to tap down and smear Bondo over, not Bondo, but Evercoat on them. And then instead of doing that on the roof here, what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and guide coated the roof and then hit it all with a 120 and found all my highs, and I tapped on all the highs, and once I got the highs all tapped back down, then I went back over with the epoxy primer and kind of just spotted it where the highs were that I tapped on. I feel doing it that way, now all those highs that were kind of sticking up there and really showing are tapped down. So now when I do my guide coat on, I won't have to run back into them highs, is what I'm trying to say. So that's the way I did it, and we'll see how it works. So we did the trunk, epoxy, skim coat, sand, hammered the lows, or hammered the highs down, filled all the lows, spotted the highs, and then tapped the highs down and then coated the whole trunk lid again. We'll see if that works, and then we'll see if this works better. I don't know. It's just after doing the filler work and skim coating it, I had those two highs over here, so I had to tap those down, and once those were tapped down, I filled in all my lows, sanded all the lows. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So anyways, I'm just trying it a couple different ways. I don't know what's right, I don't know what's wrong. I'm learning this stuff, and I make mistakes, and that's the way it is. You just learn from your mistakes. So I'm doing it that way, and then different on this side. So we'll see when I put my guide coat on there if I run into a bunch of highs like I did on the trunk lid, or if it just smooths out and works out faster, in my opinion. So we'll see. I can't say for sure yet, but that's what I'll be doing. Went ahead and cleaned up my area. That way I don't feel bummed out about coming out here and having to clean before I get working on it. Got all the brackets back off of the front of the motor, my AC brackets and all that, and they were powder coated at one point, so I'm going to clean them all up, and then I'm going to take and clean this area up on the intake manifold that I had to grind off to make the bracket fit, and then I'm going to start bolting everything down. Yep, that's where I'm at. I'll holler at you later. Okay, Sunday. Let's see what I can get done today. Got it heating up in here. It's already about 68. Once it gets up to temperature, I'll let this one here maintain the room. But yeah, get back after this a little bit today. It's nice coming back out to a clean garage. That practicing what you preach thing is something that I really got to do it. So here we are. Gotta sand these down, get them straightened out. A little stuff up here where I had those pinholes. Same thing over here, and you can sand that and get it straightened up. And I need to do a skim coat on the top here. I was thinking I probably should clean this out and pull the plastic out so that I can stand up in here and really be able to reach quite a bit of it from up in here. Oh yeah, and then I took all them parts in, cleaned them up. That's good about powder coat. Let's see, I dipped that back in that rubber stuff years ago when I had them powder coated. But yeah, that's what's good about powder coat, man. It stays on there. And you can see the difference here, where that is powder coated, that was not. So I'll have to clean that up and repaint it. But yeah, at least they're all cleaned up. I can start tinkering with this again and start getting it buttoned up and put together, and hopefully get it dropped in the car here eventually. Still need to pull the transmission out from underneath there and take it out here and clean it real good. Alright, I'll get back with you. I gotta shut this thing off now because when it cycles like that, it puts fumes in here. Night. Alright, so oh, what joy. I didn't get to do any of this yet, but I'm going to. I want to clean up that power steering pump before I tackle that. So I got some engine degreaser there. I'm going to put it over here in the bucket and spray it a little bit and see if I can't dissolve a little bit of that off of there. And then as for this, I went ahead and block sanded it again with the 80. Had a couple little lows right here and one little low up in here, and then I had a couple little lows on the doors. Nothing major, but it's looking pretty good here. I think it's gonna be, once I get these sanded from the fender through the door, we'll be ready for the polyester primer. But I'm going to do all the sides first and then the hood before I shoot the polyester primer on. And I've been smearing, doing a skim coat on the roof. So I got my skim coat on, and it's taken forever to set up out here because it was 65 degrees when I started smearing it. That was the very first section over there I smeared. You can see it's starting to dry. This was second, third, and last. Not gonna do anything with that, letting it dry and shrink back. I went ahead and cranked the heat up where, yeah, this is starting to set up a little bit better now. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with it. Just get this stuff to set up, and like this section here, I went ahead and went through and scraped the ridges off, you know, the trial marks or whatever you want to call it, the ridges. Got them all scraped off. That's why I'm waiting for this to get ready, be ready to scrape it off, but it's not ready yet. So I'm gonna go in the house for about a half an hour or so, come back out and see if I can't scrape the ridges off like that. But all right, working at it. I will guide coat this and hit it one more time just to make sure that we are good for the polyester, because trying to make it as straight as possible. I want it to look pretty when I go to the car shows. So I'll get back with you. Okay, so last video I showed where I got this skim coat going, and came back out and kind of scraped down the lines, you know, where I had spread it on all the areas. But I don't know, maybe rookie mistake or something, I don't know. But maybe some of you guys can chime in and let me know what happened. This area I had to redo because it never kicked. I mean, it never got hard. I was able to scrape it off, and it's still not hard. It's like tape. Maybe I didn't put enough hardener in it, I don't know. But anyways, that's where I'm at with it. I'm wondering, because I could have swore I put 2 lines across the, you know, like an 8-inch patch like I did all the other ones. But this one here didn't kick. Was it that the panel was too cold or something when I smeared it on there? But that don't make sense because that was the second smear, and this one here hardened up, but the second one didn't for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I didn't mix it strong enough or something. Y'all can chime in and let me know. You professionals out there that do this stuff every single day. I know I should probably be scaling it and weighing it and all that stuff, and scales are cheap enough, so I can't use that for an excuse. It's my own fault for not buying a scale and scaling it. Alright, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Got it 68 degrees in here. I'm gonna crank it up a little bit more here, see if I can get it up to 70 or something, see if I can get this to kick off this time better than it did that last time, because I don't know, like I said, I'm not a professional excuse me, not a professional body guy. I'm an appliance repair guy. If you got a question about some appliances, let me know and I can hook you up. But Let's see, I got this thing set about 69 here. We'll crank it up there to 70 and get it heated up. Alright, so yeah, I'm guessing that's probably what it was. I just didn't put enough hardener in there. It kicked pretty quick. That was about an 8-inch round glob of the two mixed together, and 2 lines of the hardener across the 8-inch patch, and it kicked. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So I just went ahead and just kind of broke the tops off. I'm gonna let it set out here and dry overnight now that I got the tops broke off of it. As promised, power steering is in there, and I've been spraying the engine degreaser on it, get it cleaned up. So I'm gonna take them brackets off and paint them and clean them up and everything, of course. And while I was waiting for that up there to kick, I went ahead and guide coated the quarter panel and hit it with 80. Got a little bit of a low right here, which I'll smear a little bit on there and sand it. This back here, I'm not so much worried about it. I don't think it's gonna show up too crazy in the paint, so my opinion. But yeah, other than that, the quarter panel's nice. I just want to get done with the sides while I'm working on this. Gonna let this dry one more day before I go and start sanding on this trunk lid again. I got somewhat of a guide coat on it. It's not too dark. That was actually just rubbing on it with my gloves and the powder, not the powder, but the guide coat on my hands. So anyways, I'll get this side going next. I do know that I still have this area right here that I'm for sure this needs some more work, but I want to bolt. If you can see, this is the way out, so I want to bolt that back to the front valance. Get it bolted back up to the front valance so I can it's not so floppy when I'm sanding and doing a little bit of filler work right here on the edge. But yep, that's where I'm at with it. Long block the roof. When I'm standing up in the window area over here, I can reach, I don't know, probably about here. And then this I have to be sanded from the sides, or I might actually just sit up there in the back and see if I can't reach the back side from that way. We'll see. It's just a big roof, man. So it's gonna take a little bit of work to get this blocked out, long blocked. And anyways, that's where I'm at. Get that roof long blocked, guide coat this and sand it one more time, make sure I don't have any lows. This is pretty much done over here on this side, where I think clean it up and throw some high build polyester primer on it eventually. So anyways, I still got the hood to take care of, so blah blah blah. Get this done, put some filler in here, sand that, repeat, sand that, and then once those two areas are done, last but not least, heading over here to the El Hudo. Alright, get back with you. Alright, so Monday I came out here a little bit, sanded the trunk lid down, had a couple breakthroughs and a couple lows again, but it's getting better. Just one little spot here that just do some light sanding on there until I see my pencil marks, and same thing here, a little flat blocking, and this area here had more lows and highs, so I just did the whole area instead of just messing around with little sections. Anyways, yep, it's getting there. I think this is probably going to be about the last of that on the trunk lid. As for the roof, I sanded the whole thing, flat blocked it, and these were lows that like where the Bondo connected there in the corner was a little low. Then it has some miscellaneous lows, nothing horrible. So I'll get them lightly sanded with some flat block, and then I think that should be just about ready too. So anyways, just working at it. I'll get it. So the verdict is in. The roof is pretty much done. This was after my filling up the low spots and putting a guide coat on and coming back over the whole thing with the 120 grit sandpaper, and I think it looks good. So back to that, because I did it the opposite way, where basically I'll go ahead and repeat for you. I put the epoxy primer down, sanded it with 80 grit because it had set up. Saw a couple highs at that point, didn't do nothing to them, and went ahead and smeared a skim coat, and then sanded again, and all those highs popped back up. So then I tapped all the highs down. After I got all the highs tapped back down, I re-epoxied it, then guide coated it, and came back across it again. Yeah, and it just I'm still fighting it. Where when I done it this way, epoxy, guide coat, hammered down all the highs, skim coated it, blocked it, found all my lows, filled the lows in, guide coated again, and sand it with the 120, and bam, it's done. Roof is done. Got a little bit of bull malarkey, along in here, which ain't no big deal. It's just little touch-up stuff that has to be done. But the roof I got a little spot right there that I still need to look at. A little spot right there, and then one tiny spot right there, and that's it. So anyways, I'm thinking that that's probably the better way to do it. Alright, I'm out. Okay, yeah, like I was saying, repeat and repeat. Went ahead and cleaned the edges up here. So the top is done. It's ready for some primer to be put on. This side is done, ready for primer. I had to start over on this section here of the trunk lid, because them highs that I had, there's several highs in that area that no matter, I mean, I could have put a ton of filler on the lid and just you know, design the lid with the filler, but I'm not trying to do that. I want it to be as thin as possible. And then that area right there, it started oil canning on me again. So I was sick of it, tired of it. Fighting it, trying to get it straight. So I am back to square one here. I'm going to probably start over on this. If you can see in the light, this trunk is beat to hell, and there's nothing I can do about that, because you can't buy deck lids, and I've already finished the bottom side of it. It's just someone before I got this car, this came off of that orange car, someone had already took a shrinking disc over this, and it was oil canning really bad. If you just hit the trunk right here, the whole boom center would pop up. So I'm doing what I can do to make this thing right. As you can see, there's no oil canning over here at all. But I had that one area right there that push here, pop up here, push here, pop up there, push here, pop up there, push down. You know what I'm saying. So I went ahead and took it back to bare metal right here in this whole area, and went ahead and shot some more epoxy primer on, and got my torch out and did some heat shrinking in this area right here, and I got it tight now, so it's not going to oil can on me no more. And while I was at it, the couple highs that I had that were here, I went ahead and heated them, hammered them down. So it is what it is. Unless someone got a new trunk lid for me, this is how I got to do it. So, alright, get back with you. You can say you're doing that all wrong or whatever you want to say. It don't matter to me. But like I say, the roof is done. It's ready for some primer. I'm probably going to move on to the hood, because once you get frustrated with something, just walk away, because it's PC off. Anyways, I just didn't want to cuss on the YouTube. So, alright, get back with you. Okay, Sunday here. This is where I'm at with it. Been kind of sanding and, you know, just regular bodywork stuff, boring. So that's why I haven't put out a video in a couple weeks. the struggle's real. So where I'm at is the hood is pretty much done. It's ready for the when I say done in this video, what I mean is it's done and it's ready for the high build optics. So this is high build primer. It sprays on pink, it sands to gray. So that's where I'm at. This side is pretty much done. The roof is done. The hood is done. This was a big battle, but it's ready for the high build. I still have to do the body work on the panel there. And as for this side, where I'm at so far is working on this fender here. Had some little bit of damage, beat up over in this area here, so I'm skimming that, and then finding my lows in this fender here. I'm wondering at this point if I should just skim this whole fender, but then again, it's not that bad. It's just a few spots here, 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 one over here, one over here. So I don't know where I'm going to go with that yet. Might just skim the whole thing. Door wise, I just sanded it, and I still got a low here in the center. Rocker panel, it's turning out pretty decent. I mean, I just ran across it with the block real lightly. It's got a couple lows, but nothing major. So anyways, that's where I'm at. Just guide coating, sanding, finding my lows so I can do the little bit of body work that's going to have to be done to this side, or excuse me, not body work, filler work that has to be done. So anyways, that's where I'm at. Like I said, hood, it was a battle. Roof went like that. Trunk lid has been the worst of it all, but I'm pretty much ready now. I guide coated it and hit it with 220 earlier, and it pretty much came right off on the guide. So that's where I'll be, and I probably won't put a video out until I put the high build on it. Alright, get back with you. So, been over here hard at it, working at this bodywork crud. The worst part of restoring a car, in my opinion. But started working on that filler panel up here. Had a couple of little dents here and there, not too bad. And then I'm working on the area where the quarter panel meets this panel, and we'll put some short hair fiberglass in there, and then I'm going to remake that line just to make it look nicer, kind of fine tune it. Same thing on this side. That's kind of what I'm doing there, just making it look better. As for body work, I'm pretty much done with this side, the hood, the roof. Got a little spot up there that I need to sand out still. This fender, the door, basically sanded it with the 80 grit. Found my lows, smeared some filler on the lows. This quarter panel here is super nice. All I had was this one little spot right here, but other than that, it's nice. It's fine tuning, getting it ready to do the polyester primer, but I don't want to waste it, if that makes sense. So I keep doubting myself, and then what I think I need to do, just to be safe, is I think I should shoot another coat of epoxy over the bodywork area, just to lock everything in, the roof, and lock everything in, and hit it with the block one more time. That's where I'm at with it. I do believe that I am that close, that if I was to epoxy it one more time, block it one more time, and then I should be ready for the high build, that optics, and then it'll be block, block, block. I've been watching a lot of videos where guys have a lot of trouble sanding this stuff, but I'm not gonna trip on it too bad. I mean, you just gotta put in the work. I mean, body guys do this shit every single day, and if you're not willing to put in the work, and you're gonna go grab your air hose or your DA and get your air sander, straight line sander out and start doing it with that, in my opinion, that's just lazy. So anyways, yeah, I'm doing it all by hand. There's been a few spots that I kind of took the DA and knocked off the high spots and then did it by hand. Same way with the trunk lid, the roof, all hand sanded. And I just believe that the hand sanding with the blocks, it's just going to turn out nicer in the end. And alright, I'm done for the day. Come out and accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. So with that said, I think what I'll do, if I get a little bit of time tomorrow, I'll come out and lightly hand sand everything to make sure that I don't have, with a block, with one of these foam blocks here probably, but lightly sand it all just to make sure that I got my guide coat out. And then once I get that all hand sanded one more time and get all the guide coat out, shoot it with epoxy one more time, let that set and dry, sand it one more time with the guide coat just to make sure. I'll feel much better about it if I do it. And then, I mean, I own the epoxy already, so might as well. But anyways, I want to make it straight as possible. Like I was saying before, when I go to the car shows, I don't want people making fun of me as I'm waving at them as I go by. Hi. Hi. Alright, I'm out. little video here. I've got that panel done. Trunk's pretty much done. I got tired of laying on the floor to do the bottom side of the door here, so just went ahead and pulled it off and lay it up there like that, make it easier to get to. But I'm working on the jambs on this side, getting this stuff straightened out that eventually is going to have to be done. So working on that, straightening up this rocker panel, and I thought I was almost done with this side, but after further inspection the bottom of that door wasn't looking that great, and the rocker panel wasn't looking that great. So anyways, I'll get back with you on it. Okay, so I'm just working on the detail stuff around my haunted house here. So finished off this panel here, and you can see I worked on these here and got these looking real good on the both sides. Working on these corners here and getting them all straightened up, and down through here the lip that it welded on, that's where I welded it. So after hitting it with the little belt sander, you had the little spots on here, so I wanted to straighten them up. So it's just the details, you know, just the little details. I had a pinhole here, I had some like pinholes and stuff through here. Area I had welded over here, and then these caps didn't fit that great, so basically was matching the cap to the quarter panel and getting them matched up. And then you can see it's got a really fine line that goes down through there now on both sides. They're matched up. Same thing here. So yeah, just the small detail stuff that I've been putting off that I'm going ahead and try to get knocked out. So at this point, this whole back part here, it's done and ready for another coat of primer to go on both quarter panels. We know the roof is done. Now I'm still working these areas here and working this rocker. I almost got it done. Got a little bit more work to do back in this area, and then I'm gonna probably tape this off down through here and then smear a little filler on this edge here where I welded two pieces together. I'm not going to smear it all the way across like a lot of people do. They just cover this whole area, and I personally don't like the way that looks. I think it looks not factory and not that good looking in my opinion. So I want to leave this line, so I would just smear it on this area here and sand it off. So in this area right here, it was kind of, the edge was kind of dented up a little bit, so I went ahead and took a chisel and kind of put it back here and kind of bing banged on that a little bit and straightened it out as much as I can, and then I put some short hair fiberglass on it and got it looking real good there. So line there. So anyways, like I said, the details, which I got the doors off, and while I got the doors off, or door off at this point, I'm going to sand this edge here, make sure there ain't no filler on them sides. I already did the back of the fender, made sure there ain't no boogers, no filler boogers that got left over. And then I gotta do the other side too. So they're saying it's gonna be like 70 degrees over here come Christmas Day. So I am going to use that opportunity to spray color on the back of my valances, front and rear, and also we'll use that time to put some color on the doors, the insides of the doors, and the insides of the fenders. So I want to get all that in color. That way I don't have to worry about taking doors off anymore, or fenders as far as that goes. So get the inside of them in color, the inside of the doors in color, and both valances in color. And then once that's done, I'm thinking that I'll just do the base coat and not put the clear coat on it right away. That way whenever I'm clearing the car, I might do the inside of the doors clear. You know, I don't know, I'm undecided. But what I'm hoping is to be able to paint the car with the doors off. That way I'm not getting any tape lines, and all this will get shot. All of the jams will get shot, and the roof, everything will get shot at the same time. All the door jams, trunk jams, fender inside here, the edges of the fenders. You know what I'm saying? Try to get all this painted at the same time. That way I don't have a paint line. I do still have, you know, stuff like that right here that I need to work on. A couple little areas here that's a little bit pitted up. It's not horrible, but it would look horrible with paint on it, I'm sure. So, devil's in the details, man. I mean, that's all I can say is the details are a pain in the butt, but that's what you want to do if you want it to look nice. And you don't want the judges to pick on you, because that's what they do. I mean, you can have the most beautiful car in the world, and they're going to walk around it and they're going to find flaws. That's all they're looking for. They're not looking how great your car is. They're looking to knock points off of you for flaws. So, anyways, I ain't nothing special. Get back with you. Alright, so this is where I'm at with it. I'm pretty much ready to shoot some more epoxy on to seal up all my body work on the hood and the roof, and got all that taken care of down there. Got this in here. Go ahead and put some on that seam there. Got taken care of up in there. Look at this. Ain't that nice? Whoop, whoop. But anyways, yeah. all across that. A little groove there. Just kind of walking around and around, you know. Got my lights all blaring over here to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Walk around with my little piece of sandpaper and hitting stuff that catches my eye. And then I still got to work on this over here. This part here, that part up there where I welded the pieces together. A little bit down in there, but look at that. Woo woo! Ain't that sweet? But alright, that's where I'm at. Get this thing back in one color and probably put a couple coats on it anyways. Then I can hit it all with the block again just to make sure everything's kosher, and then do this high build epoxy primer one more time here. Like I said, a couple coats of that, and then if that turns out and I shouldn't have any more body work after that, then I'm going to spray on this Optics Super Build. It sprays on pink and then sands to gray whenever you get it sanded. So anyways, that's where I'm at with it. Coming down to the bottom of it. The smearing the filler part is just about done, I'm hoping. Alright, happy days, guys. I'm out of here. Okay, messing around a little bit out here tonight. Just kind of cleaning stuff up, making sure got a lot of the dust out of the inside. Blowing dust off the car. Same thing in the trunk here. Just cleaning stuff up before I shoot the epoxy primer back on. Working on this over here. Get this before it kicks too hard. But just kind of cleaning that up, making this match the other side, working on some areas that I had to patch and weld. So just cleaning stuff up over here, getting this side finished up, and then I've been not, well, it ain't that I'm not wanting to do something, but there's been a spot over here that I've been meaning to get to. So this had like a hairline crack in it here on the tip of the hood here. So I went ahead and got that cleaned up and straightened up and re-welded it, and just little stuff like that. I mean, you walk around the car and you look at it enough, you start seeing all the flaws. So, and that's a good thing. So anyways, just thought I'd show you that out here tonight. And I'll probably come back out tomorrow, because being it's the holiday week or whatever, I went ahead and shut down all my service work. So I will get all week to be able to come out and do something here, as long as I get off my lazy butt and do it. So I'm gonna bag all this back up so I don't get no overspray in here or up on the firewall at all, and that bag would come all the way through. So alright, Just thought I'd show you where I was at and what I'm doing. Just slowly creeping up on all this. Get back with you. Alright, so 3 coats of the high build epoxy. Looks pretty good. I see a couple spots that I'll need to address, but for the most part, super good, super happy. It's kind of good that it's got a little bit of a sheen on it. You see the sheen. With that sheen on it, I'm able to kind of see a couple areas that I need to look at and work on. Was able to get the garage door open today, and that really shined the light on in here, and I had a little area right here, had a little nick in the metal over here, so that helped that I was able to get those areas fixed before spraying this on. And I got a little spot right there that I need to work on the trunk lid, but it's super close, super close. So with it being so cool in here, 65 degrees is what I got today. The TDS sheet called for 30 minutes in between coats. 30 minutes. Yeah, flash in between coats, 30 minutes. So I was giving it 45. So put a coat on, wait 45 minutes, put another coat on, wait 45 minutes, and then I put the final coat on there. Now I just gotta let it set and dry. So there's that. Probably give it a few days to dry anyways before I go touching it. I got to get some fine line tape so I could tape up my body lines, because when I go back to sand this time, I'm sanding with the 120 and just getting it ready for the optics. Alright, thanks for watching. Night night.